violent means.
There is an expectation that members will not carry weapons with them
to Veterans for Peace events
or while representing Veterans for Peace,
regardless of the laws in their location.
We will follow the directions of designated coordinators.
During public actions
organized on behalf of Veterans for Peace.
We'll use democratic principles within our organization to ensure an open, fair, inclusive, and transparent environment.
We will speak as members of Veterans for Peace,
but not for Veterans for Peace,
unless designated as a spokesperson for Veterans for Peace.
All members are free to speak for themselves or on behalf of their chapter as appropriate.
Sexist,
racist,
homophobic,
ageist,
transphobic,
gender discriminatory,
and all other discriminatory language and actions
are common within the military.
They are not acceptable within Veterans for Peace.
Our words and actions will maintain
the political and financial independence of Veterans for Peace.
To achieve the above goals, we will also engage in active listening.
That is, fully concentrating on what is being said,
rather than passively hearing the message of the speaker.
Hi, welcome to Gamers for Peace, initiative of Veterans for Peace, here to talk about the anti-war movement and countering military recruitment as our primary focus. Today, I am here with Louis Raprager, a VFP community member out of California at a live action that's been occurring today, and ready to have a quick conversation with Louis about what's been going on. Hi, Louis. How are you doing today?
Hey, how's it going, Chris?
Good.
I just wanted to thank you for reaching out and doing this for me. It's wonderful, and yeah, I'm excited to be here with you.
Awesome. So, Louis, let's just start off. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing today, the action that you're at, and the purpose and what you've done so far.
Sure, we're out here with some VFP members as well as Military Family Speak Out. We're out here to share our support put our hearts out there for the Afghan people as well as for our troops coming home, and then trying to get the community involvement and seeing where their heads are at, and trying to get just a general idea of it. We're currently outside of the Los Angeles Air Force Base, so it's a pretty cool location. So yeah.
And so nice. I can answer that. A lot of this running around. So, how was the reception to the statement? I understand the press was there. It was a press conference along with a march. And how was the reception to the statement that you had by the press and those in attendance?
The press was actually pretty receptive of our message. They asked me a few questions, especially being an Afghan veteran as well as an Iraq veteran. They just wanted to know, like, I just let them know, like, hey, like, I'm feeling really conflicted about this, and it's okay to feel that way. And I let people know, like, if you feel this way too as a veteran, like, reach out, man. There's help out there for you if you feel this way. So, and then I expressed, like, my thoughts are with the Afghan people, and we hope that humanitarian issues are taken care of, and that's basically where we were at. And the press was very receptive. They asked a lot of questions, and I was happy about it.
That's great. Pacifist War Vet is saying hi, Lewis, and is asking what the statement was. And I think our audience kind of wants to hear what the statement was in totality. If you have that time, if you feel like repeating it, I'm more than happy to have you do that. And it's up to you.
Sure. So my statement to the press was, as an Iraq war veteran, Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran, serving on board the USS Abraham Lincoln, being a part of mission accomplished, and then being conflicted about what's happening and seeing what's happening in Afghanistan, and just trying to lift up our veterans, saying, like, we really need to like, I understand everybody kind of feels conflicted, or if you do feel conflicted, reach out to either Veterans for Peace, reach out to the Veterans Hotline, and just ask for help, because there's no reason to not ask for help. It's perfectly fine.
Thanks for sharing that. So, there's obviously there's a lot of news still coming out about the events unfolding in Afghanistan and the fallout of the inept withdrawal that's been from what's ostensibly been a U.S. colony held under armed military occupation for the last 20 years. In light of what's going on, what's the mood or feelings from the people or veterans that are returning home that you've been talking to? And a follow-up to that is, have these events change the focus of what today's planned action was?
Yeah, so we actually had an event planned for August 31st, and it was supposed to be a welcome home event, because that was the deadline for the Biden administration to bring all of our troops home, and at least have a proper transition of power to the Afghan people. Unfortunately, that didn't work out the way that it was, so we actually had to change our strategy, change our wording a little bit. And the people here have been very receptive to it. People, like, definitely know what we're talking about. People, like, just civilians and military alike here are definitely have their focus on this issue, and, like, we've got a lot of receptive comments. Some people didn't want to say anything, which is fine, but a lot of people did, like, put little hearts. Like, we have little hearts for people to fill out and just, like, express how you're feeling. And it's been very receptive, and this community is wonderful.
Excellent. Thanks for answering that. Wolgamith in chat is asking, as a Vietnam vet, I was devastated by the fall of Saigon, because at that point, it became perfectly clear what I had known since 1969, that it all was a waste. We had lost 58,000 plus and killed millions for nothing. Do you, as an Afghan vet, feel similarity?
Yeah, I do feel extremely conflicted, because I'm like, at one point, I'm like, I knew this was coming. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that we're going to that eventually the forever war was going to end, right? So like we can't call it forever. So, but yeah, I do understand how that is. My father being a Vietnam veteran, and then my grandfather being a World War II veteran, I definitely understand how the feelings were. And I'm glad there is a lot of Vietnam vets reaching out and saying like, hey, like, how are you feeling? Because I remember how I felt. And that's been like such a great connection there, because it's like, oh, like at least you have that, and like you have another veteran of a different generation, but they still are like, oh, I have that same feeling, and that's really cool.
I want to echo that sentiment. As an Afghanistan vet, also having the intergenerational support has been absolutely amazing in this. And so thanks. Also, Wolgamith, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for that question. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. So I have another question from Pacifist War Vet. Before I get to that, though, let me go to Pacifist War Vet's question first.
Yeah,
what do you
ahead.
have to say to people out there who are saying, no, it wasn't pointless, they were holding terrorism at bay? What do you say to that? Like a response?
Yeah, I don't really, like, I haven't really had that response, which has been wonderful. But if I would have that response, it'd be like, you're like, we were just there. We're just here to support our troops as well as the Afghan people. So not really going into like the politics of terrorism or anything like that, because who are we really to say who the terrorists are?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the way I feel anyways. Like there's knowing history and knowing how history repeats itself. Every country has their different side of the story. So it's kind of easy to get into like, oh, kind of easy to go into the blame game, or it's their fault or our fault. So it's just like, might as well just stay away from it and steer the conversation in a different way to be like, hey, why don't you just support it and support our troops coming home and support the Afghan people and hope that humanitarian needs are met.
Excellent. Thanks. Thank you for that answer. Pacifist War Vet, those statements would make me angry also. And you have no reason to apologize at all for asking a great question. No need to
apologize at all. It's a great question, but I'm trying to do better as a pacifist. So
yeah. I think there's, I don't want to get too much into the details of what's going on in Afghanistan. It's still unfolding. It's a fresh thing for us as Afghanistan veterans that a lot of us have, like you mentioned, a lot of complex feelings and are still unpacking a lot of it.
It's definitely a fresh wound, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to unpack all of our feelings. It's going to be time, Tune in for next Monday.
Yeah. A shameless plug. You can join us for Mental Health Monday, where we talk about this stuff in a great community. Let me see. Here's my next question for you. Do you have any suggestions or thoughts about the focus and framing of this tough and complex situation, and what should be done as far as framing the conversation, not the actions by which our government or we should be doing? What should we be centering the conversation around regarding the consequences of the U.S.'s military action?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Still unpacking those feelings are great. But yeah, like I do feel, like I have this thing where I feel sorry for the Afghan people. I want there to be humanitarian needs met now, not later. Like they need to be met now. And I think if we switch the conversation to that, like even though we're like, hey, like, if you do feel apologetic or empathetic for the Afghan people and everything that we've done, or like the actions that we took part of, then that's definitely where we should steer the conversation, because like they need the humanitarian needs right now, especially the way that the way that the country is set up. So, it's just humanitarian needs need to be met, need to contact the UN or whatever needs to happen. But I think that's where we should be steering the conversation and at least welcoming our troops home. And then once they're home, we need to take care of them. So.
I think that's a great answer. Pacifist Warvet says center compassion, center action to help those in need, and says good answer, Lewis, and thank you for the answer.
Thank you, Pacifist.
Yep. I know that the action is still ongoing, but it's wrapping. It's a shorter action today that you're part of. Am I correct in that?
That is correct. We have other things that might be planned. We're still mobilized, and we're willing to go wherever we have to go to spread this message of love and spread the message of that we're here. We're wanting to let everybody know that the Afghan people need help as well, not just be centered around our own selfish needs of being Americans. So that's where we're going. We're actually planning on going to Orange County. I don't know the dates yet. And we're also planning on going to maybe the Santa Monica Pier or somewhere. So, yeah.
Awesome. And when details come out about that, or I should ask, how can people get a hold of you and the efforts that you and the other groups that you're with, how can people get in touch, get tied in, get plugged in, and start showing that compassion and empathy in an action-oriented way?
Sure, like anybody can reach out to me. My Twitter handle is at LewDog77. My Discord is LewDog at LewDog77. And then reach out to MFSO, Military Family Speak Out. We're even About Face is doing great work. So there's lots of organizations out there that are doing the same. And even if we join forces, that'd be even better. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, we will in post, I will add some additional links for where people can contact you and contact those amazing organizations. We got Kesley. Kesley's a newcomer to the Gamers for Peace community. Welcome.
Welcome.
We're wrapping up a little bit of coverage from a direct action that one of our VFP and GFP members is at today, welcoming home Afghanistan veterans. And in light of recent events, got into some deeper questions. This is just a short live coverage that very happy to be doing, and trying to center the conversation about what it needs to be. Compassion and empathy, and for primarily the people in Afghanistan that need humanitarian assistance right now in doing what they need to do to survive and find stability, and also recognizing that there's a lot of hurt people coming home, a lot of stuff that's being unpacked, and feelings coming up for a whole load of veterans in various spaces. And thank you so much for being out on the ground doing this, Lewis. Thanks for being part of Veterans for Peace, and leading the way you are. Can you tell us where we can catch that the press conference, or any information about that? Oh. Did I lose him? Back here? I think you're muted, Lewis. I can't hear you.
Yes, I am back. Sorry.
Okay.
It's been
hard. What did I just asked you a question, and you cut out right before you cut out, and now I'm blanking on what that question was. all of a sudden. My
apologies.
No, not your fault. My brain just works that way. Oh yeah, thank you, Pacifist War Vet. I appreciate you. Pacifist War Vet reminds me. I was asking where we can see the press conference from the news. What outlets were there, and how can people tune in and catch that and show support that way?
Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, so today we had Channel 7 here, so ABC, NBC, and then there was Telemundo here too. So there'll be Telemundo will be featuring us at 5. Channel 7 will feature us at 3, and between 3 and 4, because it'll be a part of the coverage of how people are feeling about Afghanistan. And then Channel 4 didn't mention anything, but hopefully we get on the cutting room floor. So, because I think our message is powerful and it needs to be said.
Pacifist War Vet, Lewis, what city are you in again? I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
So I currently live in Long Beach, California, but I'm currently right now in Los Angeles, California. So, well, El Segundo, we're right outside of the Los Angeles Air Force Base. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I don't have any other questions for you. I want to leave the last word to you about the action that you're doing today. Any thoughts, feelings, anything else that you want to say before we end this short stream special coverage? Tossing it over to you, Lewis.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the platform. This is wonderful. I really want to say, like, thanks to Mental Health Monday, I really want to say, if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, we're all having these conflicted feelings, and it's great. Like, I'm here if you need to talk to me. Anybody will have a receptive ear at this point, because I think we're all feeling kind of the same. Also, reach out to the Veteran Crisis Line if you need to. And then as well, the main things that I really want to do is I want to abolish the AUMF. That's my number one goal right now, is to take care of that AUMF, make sure that blank check is gone, and no more war. Like, we need to stop this now. Like, no more forever war. Bring everybody home. Get everybody taken care of.
And thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for sharing with us today and talking about your experience as an Afghanistan vet going through this, and also the good work that you're doing. We appreciate it. I think Pacifist War Vet sums it up really nicely with a good old fuck war. So
absolutely, yes. It's not very pacifist of you, though.
Well, we censor,
no judgment.
We censor the word war, and that's the only offensive word in that sentence, in my opinion.
Beautiful.
We got Peace Bay area saying thank you, Lewis, and yes, abolish the U.S. Army, abolish the U.S. war effort. Thanks, Jim, or thanks, Wolgamith, for coming in and saying that.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm gonna take us out and say you can join us for more coverage, Gamers for Peace conversations almost nightly on our stream. You can check the schedule down below. Tonight we are wrapping up our discussion about militarism represented in the Disney animated series Star Wars: The Bad Batch, and playing Rocket League with the Rocket League team. I'm sure there's going to be conversations about Afghanistan and the ongoing events. And throughout the rest of this week and the rest of our coverage, I know that we're putting together a panel for the near future to discuss Afghanistan and our thoughts, feelings as veterans in the anti-war movement coming up in the near future. Really looking forward to that panel and continuing this discussion and continuing this work to end the AUMF, to completely abolish and remove the AUMF and the process by which we can fight these endless wars without congressional authority, without asking the will of the people, and the unlimited funding to the Pentagon. And it's really important that we continue to talk about these things. Hit the follow button down below to get more alerts about when we do special coverage like this that's unscheduled. Make sure you tune in when we are for our regular coverage. Help support us that way, and we'll continue to do this work. And for now, I'm going to take us out from here and spread a message of peace and love. May everybody be safe, healthy, and peace.